What is up, YouTube? My name is Trevor. Welcome back to my channel if you're new. If you're not, then thank you for sticking around and continuing to watch my videos. Today, I want to honestly just give some advice to people who may be struggling out there, because even myself at one point was, or even still today, I'm still learning and growing and evolving, so there's still some struggle, you know? But so this video is going to be about upgrading yourself. Upgrading yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. First, we're going to start off talking about mentally. So I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all know what mental means, the mind. So to upgrade yourself mentally, you just got to understand some important things about yourself and understand important things about how humans work and how we all have our own mind and our own brain to, for one, believe in what we want, but to also make whatever kind of decisions that we want to make in our lives. So when we're talking about the mental perspective, we're talking about your mentality, the decisions that you make, and why you make the decisions that you make. And not only just that, but just going into your mind in general to dissect like your beliefs and your habits, and just the typical patterns that you make throughout life. So if we want to upgrade ourselves mentally, we got to first understand what we believe in and what we stand on. Because whether you know it or not, whatever belief you hold consciously or unconsciously will manifest into the physical, which means it will manifest into your physical body. So for an example, if you believe that you're a low value person, you view other people as above you. If you believe that you aren't a confident person, if you believe that you struggle with anxiety and anxiety has the best of you, and you believe that you aren't valuable and you aren't a good person, and if you believe that you can't connect with other people and create good relationships in your life, if you believe that, then that's what your reality will be. If you believe that you aren't worthy enough to accomplish your goals, or if you believe that you aren't worthy enough to live a life that you dream of, if you believe you aren't worthy of that, there's no possible way that you could ever live in that reality that you dream of. And to prove that is to literally just look at science and truth, For one, this is already proven by numerous amount of scientists. It's proven that our reality is just a projection of what's in our mind, what's in our head. So that means whatever you believe is what you're going to be, which is what you're going to live. So it's important that you not only take control of your mind, but also be firm on what you believe in. And it's also important that you believe in whatever beliefs will most benefit you. It's no good to believe in something that isn't going to be of your benefit, or that isn't going to be of your greatest good. There's no point in believing in something that's not going to further you in life, that's not going to allow you to evolve and grow in life. There's no good in believing that, So if you're believing something that goes against what you want to see in your physical life, then you're literally stopping yourself from creating the life that you want, because your belief doesn't align with the life that you're trying to get. So that's why your mentality and your mind is important, Master your mind, master your mentality, and you can create whatever you want, because we are creators. The second part of this topic we're going to get into is physical being and how to upgrade yourself physically. Physically is pretty common sense, I think everybody should be doing some type of physical activity, if you can get involved in sports, or if you can get involved in some type of activity that involves you moving and uh, getting your blood flowing. I was reading a article that was talking about physical health and wellness, and I remember seeing that they were talking about how just like 20 minutes of jogging or running at the beginning of each day not only reduces stress and tension in your body physically, because if you have a lot of built up stress and tension in your body, then you will have things like muscle aches, you'll feel physically fatigued, you'll not feel in shape, you won't feel good, and there's no way you could try to get up every day and conquer your day and be successful if you don't even feel like that physically. You know, if you're eating junk food, if you're eating fast food every single day, if you're not paying attention to your wellness physically, then you can't even get to the next step, which is mentally, if physically you aren't even there. You know, get exercise in, work out if you can, play sports if you're still young and still got the opportunity to. And physical movement, physical exercise, all that is really important for your mental. It goes back to your mental health. But not only is it important for you mentally, but it's also important for you physically, because your body is your suit and your vessel while you're here on this planet. And if you're not taking care of your suit or your vessel, then how will you ever expand to reaching higher states of consciousness and having a better mind and a better mental health overall? You know? All right, so the last part, but not least, spiritually upgrading yourself. This part, honestly, is what most people are at in their life. And spiritual growth and spiritual development is really important and really essential to daily life. And I say this because spiritual is where everything comes from. Everything that you see physically, everything that you see with your two eyes, it all is a physical manifestation of what's going on spiritually. So that means if you see, let's say, a problem, or if you see, like, for an example, if you see somebody a problem where they like to belittle people and down talk on people and make people feel bad about themselves, and like if you see people that like to basically belittle other people and devalue other people's worth, if you see people like that, I'm just using this as an example, basically where that problem comes from, where it stems from, spiritually, that person is not doing good. Spiritually, that person is not taking care of themselves. All right, so spiritual is super important. My phone keeps sliding. The spiritual aspect of everyone is the most important aspect. And the reason why I say that is because everything manifests from the spiritual, everything comes from the spiritual into the physical. So if you're lacking spiritually, if you're out of sync, if you're out of balance spiritually, then physically you'll be out of sync and you'll be out of balance. And that's how you get all kinds of different issues and diseases in the body, because spiritually is where it all started from, is where it all came from, and it just manifested physically. Also, the spiritual aspect of you is super important, because that's where not only your knowledge and your growth and your evolution lies, but that's also where you begin to form morals, and you begin to, well, I wouldn't say form, but you begin to realize what morals and what principles are really for, and that'll help you into becoming and developing into, a man if you're a man, and a woman if you're a woman. But that's how you reach, maturity and grow and become who you truly were meant to be, by having morals, by having principles that you live by. And morals, principles, and this is all part of spirituality, but it all shapes you into becoming the person that you were meant to become in life. So if you're lacking spiritually, everything else is going to be out of sync and out of balance. Spiritual is the world that we don't see with our two eyes. That's energy, and that's the life force of every physical living thing. So spirituality is super important because it comes from within. It comes from, within you, the real you, not the physical body part of you. And one thing I noticed also about life is that in order to develop and achieve life goals and your purpose, you have to get in tune spiritually, and you got to spiritually align yourself to universe or God, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe in. You don't have to be religious to be spiritual. Spiritual is simply acknowledging and showing the true nature of where everything comes from and where life comes from and where us humans even come from. So those are the three aspects to upgrading yourself, to becoming successful. You got to do physical, mentally, and spiritually. Once you put those three in alignment with the universe, with God, or whatever you want to call it, not only does your life change, but things start to get better and your purpose starts to reveal itself. And you start to see clearly your path in life and, not only where you come from in your roots, because that's also important, but you also see where the universe or where God is taking you and what plan it has for you. So yeah, that's my advice for this video. Always try to evolve and upgrade yourself, because if you aren't evolving, if you aren't growing, if you aren't learning, then what are you doing in life? If you're not evolving, growing, and learning spiritually, physically, mentally, then what are you doing? You're just stagnant and you're basically going nowhere. So this is basically a path, I guess you can say. Or yeah, I think that's the best way I can put it. It's basically a path to becoming the best version of you. All right, peace.